Day 4, morning. Sky changed outside a little bit, so it's not quite as sunny. Get that rope out of the way. There we go. Let me get in on it. Don was saying that he was a little stiffer this morning when he woke up. Mind you, he did a little bit of driving yesterday and some pretty heavy duty yoga in the afternoon as well. So, trying to get warmed up. A little extra barometric pressure is a little heavier today. We got quite a bit of offshore overcast. But physically, there's a little bit of surface tension. But it doesn't feel as, it feels like the muscles are ready to go again. Ready to just fall into place. They're not fighting anything. A bit extra chunky. You probably just got reorganizations going on and it glued up a little bit. Which is good. Reorganizing the muscles is always a good thing. It's always challenges. When you're dealing with pains that are old or even new, there's always some new challenge. I mean, if you're working out and you're building up muscle and you want to get onto that next 5 pounds or the next 10 pounds or whatever it is that you're trying to increase your strength at, there's always a challenge when you do it. You can't go jumping into it and do the same set of reps and sets that you had been doing. You have to drop those down, start building it back up. And we do the same thing when we're working through injuries as well as general structural repair. It requires quite a bit more effort. That down just a shred. There you go. That might be better for you. Yeah. It takes time for the body to do the breakdown, heal, rebuild. Breakdown, heal, rebuild. So the challenges are there mentally for us and a little bit emotionally. You wake up, a little extra stiff, and you're like, man, did I overdo it? Should I be careful? Should I change things a little bit? And most of the time, the answer is no. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it'll all work itself out. Be cautious, but keep doing what you're doing. Same routines. Add a few things. Take a little longer when it's painful, or when you're, not really painful, but when you're achy. Take a little longer when you're doing the work. Got to warm up the muscles a little bit more then. Get the mind relaxed a little bit more so that the muscles can be relaxed. Check these top traps real quick.
Yeah, that's probably a factor, isn't it?
It is. The two of them work together in that same sense where your mind ends up overriding to a certain degree and making your muscles cramped up because you're thinking about, before you even get up, you're thinking, man, I'm hurting here. How's it going to hurt when I get up? Or how is it going to hurt as I get up? And if your thoughts are that way, it's going to be very easily centered towards tightening too much and then trying to get up and making it worse, rather than just saying, big deep breath in and out and saying, okay, you know what? I'm just going to let it all relax and I'm going to get up like nothing's wrong and I'm going to see how things go. And that does change things. It takes a bit of effort to think about it because we've all been taught to a certain degree, especially if you've watched common TV for a long time, that that's the right way to do it, is to get up, groaning, moaning, oh, I'm hurting, oh, this and that. They show it to us. So people end up doing a lot of that.
Yeah, that's true. They don't show us the reverse.
Right, they don't show the person, like I'm explaining, where they're going, oh, that's achy. Let me take a nice deep breath and just hold this for a second. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and move properly. I'm going to do things in a proper fashion. Very easy to, and then they also show us, get up real quick and throw all your stuff on and rush out the door. Well, that's not working correctly either for your body. You haven't warmed yourself up. You haven't even actually awoke yourself. Definitely haven't awoken the body at that stage. And yeah, you're young, and I did plenty of it too as a young kid, and I remember older people telling me all the time, hey man, you need to chill out, you need to take it down. But what they didn't explain was what to do. They just said, calm down. They didn't explain why to a huge degree. Maybe we don't all need that explanation, but I certainly learned lessons within that because I thought I was no big deal, I'll be invincible. But until you get that injury, And I have worked through multiple injuries, being over 370 pounds at one time, and extremely fat. I was wearing a size 54 jean before I stopped wearing jeans. Before I decided, well, the hell with those. They don't make them big enough. I'm just going to wear something else.
My God.
Yeah. Oh, man, when I was dropping weight, and I hit that size 40. I mean, that was quite a ways down, but when I finally hit that size 40, I was hooting and hollering, and then dropping down to 38. Yeah, they're a little tight, and then, I mean, now, most of the time I put on a 32, and it's just loose on me. And, I mean, that's just an understanding of how much has changed. How much work I've done on this body. But if you're that heavy for as many years as I was that heavy, too, it was probably a good 10, 12 years that I was that heavy, maybe a little longer. And I had been heavy before as a kid, too. I had to drop a significant amount of weight to join the military. And I did. And it's a proof that you can. You know, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. You have to decide you want to, though. You really have to decide that you want to. Inside, in there, up here, you have to decide you want to fix the body. If you don't, then you won't. Which means you have to make it all of your waking moment, and I did that then when I dropped weight to join the military. Everything I did was based towards dropping the weight, working super hard. Within 6 months, I had dropped, I think I was 240, and I went in at like 205, and then I got down to 199. So I was 35 pounds fairly quickly within 6 months, and gone from being fairly out of shape. You know, I was doing construction and stuff, but I wasn't working out the level that you needed to be able to join the military. And I was, when I actually got in and I was doing my tests, I was testing at 300 on my scores every time. Even my run time was insanely fast. So and after the military, got super busy, super depressed, and just kept working and gaining weight at the same time.
Wow, how did it feel to be over, what, you were 340 pounds?
370.
God, how did that feel?
It's hard to explain exactly. It was heavy, very heavy. And you know what's weird is like your bones are floating around in your body. You know what? Here, they're very definitively everywhere where they belong, and I could feel them stacking there. They felt like they were floating around more. They were so widened and spread every which direction that they just didn't settle correctly. The muscles, the tendons, everything was just pulled around. You can tell that inflammation right up here, right?
Oh, yeah, where you just were, huh?
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pectoralis minor again. And we did a significant amount of work really breaking that pec minor down. I mean, really breaking it down. Kind of like we were doing day one all over again, and we didn't really do a lot of day one pec minor either, so we're really going to wake it up right now because we're doing quite a bit that area. Let that shoulder fall. There you go. You don't need to hold it. Okay, we're just going to bring it back here a little bit. Let go. Yeah, I know it seems weird that let go and then I go and yank your arm up right now. I did it nice and carefully though. See this pec minor right here? That's pec minor. Pay attention on your body where that's at, so you know as well. So we went from more of a sluggy kind of feeling where it literally felt like a worm or a slug, and now it's a little more taut, which is good. That means that it's starting to straighten out in its connections, and we can actually definitively tell the differences between each one instead of them all being jammed together and making this gooey feel to them. So that elbow go. No, you don't need to hold that. So we're going to inflame it, get it warmed up, just like anything else. check the borders of it and see what we feel, what we're getting energetically back. And get right up inside. I mean, literally right at that origin point. On the 2, 3, and 4 of the ribs. Oh yeah, and that's okay. There's the nerve that got caught in there. You might even be feeling, I can't feel your hand, let's see. Yeah, there should be shooting some shock down through the fingers soon.
What are you feeling to make yourself say that?
Well, I can feel this so you can feel the muscle, that's this main area. But there's an extra little bit of a, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to describe the feeling of the fibers in there. They're just different. Muscle fibers feel more balloony-ish to me. Like there's a lot of blood that pumps through there, so it really has a big channel of movement.
You're right on a good spot right there.
Yeah. And nerve fibers feel more stringy, like a horsehair bow for a violin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But a big bundle of them. That's what it feels more like. Like you're sending, because as soon as you strum it, you feel the signal go both directions immediately. Whereas when you're strumming muscles, it's pump that's going through there. That's actual fluid movement that's going where it opens up those channels.
Well described, Theo.
Yeah.
I never thought of the ligaments or the cords or the nerves or whatever, right, like horsehair, bowstring, violin bowstring, and all of them mushed together.
Yeah. Another way maybe to exemplify it is like the strings in the, if you beat a marijuana plant apart to get to the fibers, you know, but they're not as good of a string. The horsehair ones really have a very definitive feel to them. And that's fine, super fine detail. Microscopic level almost.
Yeah, I feel it in my little fingers.
Yeah, where I'm strumming it. Yeah. Put that shoulder ease off there. You're gonna gain. I can push more easily. I can bring that hand up a lot further if I really wanted to. But I'm just seeing if this shoulder will open, if the scapula will pop up. I might actually ask you to work on mine before we go for a walk. And that's about, I'd say we're probably getting in there, right there. And you can feel, it's hard to see on the video, but it is popped up just a little bit. We finally have some of it coming up. Not as big as this side was, but there's definitively a ridge going down through there. The scapula is finally coming up. Now we're going to ease that off. Every once in a while you got to tap them right there, you know, just give them a little tap and remind them, hey, ease off. But you got to know that they're doing it. Don't do it if they're not doing it. Not only will they not be super happy about it, but they're also going to be getting mixed signals from you. You got to be better as a practitioner about knowing the correct signals to give. You know, and talk to your client. Talk to them. Now we're doing just a little bit of energy work in here. Just trying to define what's going on. Seeing if I can pick it up in my hand down here. I can feel it in your little fingers. It's very insulated. It's very, you know, it's not a very big, powerful shock. It's more of a very insulated one. There's more of a shock coming in up further though. That's probably because it's insulated right here as it goes through the tries. Yep. Right there in the tries. They were all jammed up and it was insulating that nerve. It was actually keeping it from having the proper flow through there. Much better. Much better inside there. I know it's highly inflamed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine is. We did some pretty good size amount of shoulder stands and back bows and plow pose, which is, how do you say plow pose?
Salamba Sarvangasana.
Salamba Sarvangasana. That makes sense, right? You know, you're Salamba, you're chilling. Sarvangasana must be upside down and backwards.
Salamba is supported.
Supported, okay.
Supported back.
Nice. It's a good pose to get in, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you're learning to release the cervical spine forward so your thoracic can be flat in the process of doing it, or a shoulder stand, it puts quite a bit of interior strain right here on the inside of the pecs. Right up here on the pec major border and right up here at the manubrium. Just boom, it gets you right there. And it takes time to get used to releasing those forward. And then you're going to find right up in here, that's the secondary effect. So it's right at this rhomboid junction. It's not the rhomboids actually, though. This is going to be deep, deep muscles, all the way down to these X pattern suture muscles, way down in there. Working with the ribs. You can put your arm up. Quite a bit more lengthened on this side. Even this side is still holding up. Inadvertently, it's not exactly something you're doing purposely, but you can see this side's nice and depressed, and this side's still kind of pulling up towards the ear. And that's probably partially caused because we're doing a lot of open on this side, but also, and this side's been balancing for so long, but also because we did those big shoulder stands in the Salamba Sarvangasana. We're going to be increasing the video length because I found a compression app to be able to upload to YouTube a little bit more efficiently, so we can actually do a little longer videos. I think they let us go for about 26 to 29 minutes before they cut us off and make it a secondary video, so maybe if it's compressed we can do a longer one. It'd be nice to be able to do closer to 30-minute ones when we're doing these, but even the 15s are fine. Especially since I'm doing a bit more instruction rather than just doing the work. A little sore on that side, but it's probably less of the burning, more of a just achy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there you go. And that happens just like it would if you were weightlifting, or for you, Dawn, if you had been doing a ton of swimming.
Mm-hmm.
You may feel a little bit achy the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what this is. Okay. This side has that plus. And it's the one that hurts more that you notice. Much better on this side, obviously, as we know. Much more popped up. We can get more popped up very easily. I didn't actually do this bit of traction.
Well, that's powerful major movement work right there.
It is. This is very deep because
It's really
this side's
taking
ready.
the whole shoulder.
Yeah.
Or the whole.
We're getting right underneath this. Well, it's the whole rotator cuff,
Yeah.
cuff group in this case. So it's funny, you know, and we don't really notice it a lot of times, but atmospherically in some ways, there's so many obvious changes. I've noticed it in plumbing. I always was able to find patterns that was going on, you know, like water heaters would go out at a certain point, like go out, not just the element or just a little something, like you were replacing water heaters 1 month and you're replacing toilets another month, and you kind of figured it out where you're going to have major big main drain snakes, or you're going to have just kitchen drain snakes. It was like patterns of it that came along, and I'm noticing that in the bodies too, both weather related but also in somewhat climate related too. And when we have barometric pressure changes like this, and you've been doing heavy work on repairing, whether it was working out or something like that, you see that. You see these certain areas be attacked, like today, especially after the work we're doing, plus the shoulder stands and the Salamba Sarvangasana, you're going to see it in here. But I bet you I run across people today that are sore in their back exactly right here, right between this window where the traps are not, and you have your rhomboids and your deeper suture muscles in there.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. And one of the reasons for that is as soon as we start getting these temperature change things like this that's happening right now, everybody kind of, especially at this time of year being early spring, they kind of crunch back in. And boom. Even when you sleep, you don't even realize it. You kind of crunch back in. Your arms roll in, your shoulders roll in, especially sitting in that lazy boy chair. You get that effect. Yeah, we're getting a much more opening in there now. Definitely more of a groany day today. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of their traction. Now, not always do I tell my client ahead of time what I'm doing. This time I am, because I want him to be prepared for this. And releasing. Because that's a tough gig to do. I'm going to settle myself on there, so that way he's feeling comfortably and pinned. Yeah, there's quite a bit of more tension. You're right off the bat, right? You see that?
Definitely,
Right here in this ball. Right in that front portion right here at the chromium process. You can feel it. Now it's starting to relax. I can pull the shoulder up, but can I get the full traction that I'm looking for? And we're just going to do it by mobilization. On and off, squeezing into the muscles, crushing the traps down, getting into the sleeper a little bit, and pressing into those rhomboids, and just kind of massage, squeeze, crush the claw.
Yeah, this is where it's no longer a massage. It's really a holistic attempt to, I don't know, really.
In my opinion, this is what massage was meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking the whole body area.
Okay, we're going to let this one. You do a little shake. Maybe not there. Let that elbow fall. Doing a little bit of shake. Got the wrist. I'm just working it on either side of it, trying to get the full lengthening on that arm. Get some of the rotation in the humeral joint, glenohumeral joint. So a lot of people I know would think of, oh my God, I had this huge backslide, we're not making progress, what happened, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. This is the challenge that the body is going to throw at you. It almost invariably happens whether you're doing it in 1 week at a time or 3 weeks at a time. These things happen. So we're just going to work our way through it nice and calm. Same thing we usually do, warm everything up and get it going. Get it mobilized again. It's just a challenge. The body's got to heal, and then sometimes it likes to, as we know in our practitioner, that it likes to heal in a cross-hatch pattern rather than a straight pattern. So we flatten it out until we get that straight pattern working. So, just about there. Just about there. How you feeling, Don?
I'm feeling much better.
A little more beat up?
All the relevant, all the, you've gone deep.
Yes. I think I'm going to retract both of your arms, but the shoulder's going to be dropped. This one's dropped a bit. This one hasn't dropped, or this one's dropped. This one here is starting to drop. You can see that tension all the way up in there. Yeah, I pull that, there's almost nothing, and this side.
Yeah, I'm surprised because
it's balancing for this side.
Yeah.
It's taking up the load. It's getting tired of it.
Is that because it's dry?
Down here,
like
yes.
you were talking about?
Yeah, down here it's definitely got a bit of dryness in there, but it's a lot of tendon injury that's just wrapped over with the aponeurosis too. It's a very tough area. Lots happening. I mean, we're fitting this triangle right into this space. I can't do it with my hands right. This triangle right into this pelvic space. Think about that. It's like a dart. Sometimes it gets stuck in there a little hard and we got to move it around. It's a semi-movable joint. yoga proves that very well to us. Hell, watching those people that do acrobatics and contortionists show how well it actually does move. And as a former customer and friend of mine, Dr. Dean Howell, has proven, cranial plates also move. He actually uses a method where he goes intracranial with a balloon and forces your plates to open up, allow circulation in there. And how much of a major difference that is. Naturopathic doctor, Dr. Dean Howell. Look him up, he's fantastic.
And he sometimes puts a balloon in between the plate and the brain.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at the procedure, but it's all non-surgical. You know, it's inpatient or outpatient. And my guess from it makes sense, is you just kind of thread a tube up through the nasal passage up into the casing between, and you just spread it open with this balloon. I need to look at how he does it. I just know that it's helped a lot of people. I haven't had the opportunity to go down and spend time with him yet to have it done on myself, but I've known quite a few people that have had it done, and it's odd. I never really paid attention to what they said specifically on how it was done, other than it seemed like a balloon went up there. So there you go. All right, let me have both of your arms, and we're going to see if we can do some of this. Pull your shirt up a little bit. All right, twist them. Let go. Let go. Now, generally, the best thing you can do is you're going to ask your client, "Hey, how's this feel? Where are you at?" You know, the old pain scale thing, 7 to 10, whatever. There's a knee in the back. Release. Are you pulling? You are. Let go. Okay. Now squeeze inward. Squeeze those shoulders. Now let it go. Squeeze them in. Let it go. I'm actually not putting much pressure on. Mostly just trying to keep them stabilized while I do this. I'll do it again. Let go. Do it again. Let go. Good job. Let go. No, just let go. There you go. Let it go. You can tell, you can see that. Move it on. All right, Don, I'm going to go ahead and have you come up then. Oh, holy cow.
Must make her much better.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, you look better. Your whole energy looks like you're ready to do something now.
Yeah,
So,
very helpful.
very good.
Really know where to go deep with your strength. So
All right, thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Day 4 is done. Have a fantastic day.